You ever wake up to the sound of chainsaws ripping through your morning coffee? The kind that makes your gut twist like a knife? That's how it hit me that crisp Texas dawn. The air thick with diesel fumes and the metallic tang of fresh-cut earth. My name's Jack Harlan. And this ranch, 300 acres of sun-baked soil. Wild mesquite. And the ghosts of my granddaddy's cattle drives. It's not just land. It's my blood. My sweat. The only thing that's ever felt like home after the divorce left me hollow as a dry well. I stepped out onto the porch, boots thudding against the warped oak. And there it was, a crew of strangers, orange vests flashing like warning flares, bulldozing a scar right across my eastern fence line. What in the hell? I muttered, heart pounding a rhythm faster than a spooked Mustang. By noon, I'd traced it back to her, Evelyn Thorne, the iron-fisted queen of the Highland Oaks HOA, that pack of nosy busybodies who'd clawed their manicured claws into our rural enclave 5 years back. Evie, with her peroxide blonde bob and eyes like chipped ice, had decided my unkempt back 40 was perfect for her pet project, a gleaming warehouse for the neighborhood's community storage. Never mind it squatted smack on my deed. Permits? She waved those off like pesky flies. It's for the greater good, Jack, she'd purred at the last meeting, her voice all honey over venom. Greater good? That woman's idea of community was a spreadsheet of fines and a gavel that always swung her way. The outrage boiled up slow at first, a simmer in my chest as I watched her crew pour concrete footings that very afternoon. The sun beat down merciless, turning the dirt to dust that coated my throat like regret. I could hear the gravel crunch under their tires, the rhythmic thwack of shovels biting earth, sounds that should have been mine. Not some subdivision tyrant's symphony of theft. This ain't right, I growled to my old border collie, who whined at my feet, ears flat against his grizzled head. Why now? When I just sunk my last dime into irrigation pipes to keep the alfalfa green through another drought. Evie's crew didn't stop at the line. They bulldozed a swath of my prize bluebonnets. Those fragile blooms that painted the spring like forgotten dreams. I knelt there, fingers sifting through the crushed petals, their faint honey scent mocking me. A sigh escaped, heavy as the humidity pressing in, like the ranch itself was exhaling its last breath. But anger? It crashed in waves after that, hot and unrelenting. I stormed into the HOA office that evening, the screen door slamming behind me like a gunshot. Evie lounged at her desk, filing her nails, surrounded by stacks of violation notices she'd penned in her looping script. Darling, she cooed, not even looking up. You're late for tea. What's got your spurs in a tangle? I slapped the survey map down, veins throbbing in my temples. This warehouse of yours, it's on my land. Evie. Illegal as sin. And you know it. Her laugh tinkled like breaking glass. Sharp and false. Nonsense. The board approved it. Your little hobby farm was wasting space. Hobby farm? This place fed my soul, paid my bills when the oil rigs dried up. The room spun with the scent of her lavender perfume. Cloying and invasive. Just like her rules. No chickens louder than 6 a.m. No fences over 4 feet. No living unless it fit her Pinterest-perfect vision. The controversy erupted faster than a prairie fire. Neighbors picked sides overnight. The retirees who golfed at Evie's country club whispered support for her progress, while the old-timers like me muttered about property rights over backyard barbecues. Social media lit up. Hashtags like HOA and ranch rights trending local. My blurry phone pic of the dig site racking up shares. Is this America? One comment read. And damn if it didn't echo the ache in my ribs. Evie fired back with smear posts, calling me a reclusive hoarder, blocking vital amenities. But all of it? But they stung like salt in a fresh wound. I paced my kitchen that night, floorboards creaking under my weight, the tick-tock of the grandfather clock mocking my isolation. Rusty nudged my hand, his wet nose a cold comfort. What if I let it go? Sold out? Moved to some cookie-cutter condo? That fire in my belly? Roared louder, demanding justice. Twist came subtle at first, a tip from an anonymous board member. Slipped into my mailbox like contraband. Evie's approvals were forgeries. Her contractor a shady outfit dodging environmental regs. The warehouse? It'd poison the aquifer if it stood, leaching chemicals into the creek that watered half the county's wells. Outrage flipped to fury, my breaths coming short and ragged. Huff, as I poured over docks by lamplight, coffee gone cold beside me. You sneaky witch, I whispered, slamming the table so hard the mugs rattled. Questions gnawed. How deep did her corruption run? Who else had she bulldozed? Metaphorically or not? I hired a lawyer on credit, a firebrand named Lila Voss from Austin. All sharp suits and sharper tongue. We'll bury her, Jack, Lila said over the phone, her voice crackling with promise. But it'll cost you maybe the ranch if we lose. Risk? It loomed like thunderheads rolling in, dark and inevitable. Court dates blurred into a haze of depositions and all-nighters. The gavels echo haunting my dreams. Evie played dirty, subpoenaed my ex for instability claims, leaked my financials to paint me desperate. The stress carved lines deeper into my face, mirrors reflecting a man fraying at the edges. Yet in the quiet moments, driving the backroads with windows down, wind whipping my hat brim, that wild freedom reminded me why I fought. The scent of rain-soaked sage, the distant low of cattle, it grounded me, pulled me back from the brink. Hang in there, old-timer, I tell my reflection, forcing a grin. Exclamations burst out unbidden. This land's seen worse than her, droughts, blizzards, and it endured. The trial hit like a summer squall, courtroom packed with locals, air thick with murmurs and the faint must of old wood. Evie testified first, perched like a peacock, spinning tales of negligent oversight and community benevolence. Her eyes flicked to me, smug as a cat with cream, until Lila tore it open. Thorn, Lila pressed, voice slicing clean. Care to explain these falsified stamps? Or the EPA violations your warehouse would trigger? Gasps rippled through the benches. Evie's facade cracked, a flush creeping up her neck like spilled wine. It was an error, she stammered. But the judge, a grizzled veteran named Harlan Brooks, no relation but felt like fate, leaned forward, brows thunderous. Climax crashed in the final hour, my turn on the stand. I gripped the rail, knuckles white, recounting the bulldozer's roar, the crushed flowers' perfume lingering like accusation. This ain't about storage units. Your Honor, I said, voice steady despite the quake in my chest. It's about a woman who thinks rules bend for her crown. But this ranch? It stood since '48, through floods and fools. And it'll stand longer than her empire of spite. The room held its breath, then erupted. Evie bolted up, screeching, lies. He's the obstructionist. But Brooks banged his gavel, silencing her mid-tirade. Order. Your community just confessed to fraud on record. Verdict dropped like manna. Warehouse demolished at HOA expense. Evie fined triple damages. Her presidency revoked amid investigations into embezzlement. Karma's whip cracked sweet, turns out. She'd siphoned dues for her pool remodel. As deputies escorted her out, handcuffs glinting under fluorescent lights, she shot me a glare pure venom. You'll regret this, Harlan. But her voice cracked, bitter as bile, empire crumbling around her painted nails. I walked free, lighter than after a good rain. Back on the ranch, sunset gilding the fresh repaired fence. I sank onto the porch with a cold beer, Rusty's head heavy on my knee. The air hummed with crickets' chorus, a symphony of survival. We'd won, not just the land, but the fight in me. And here's the spark. Folks, stand your ground, even when the shadows loom tallest. Tyrants like Evie fall not to thunder, but to folks like us, ordinary hearts with unyielding roots. In America, justice ain't handed out, it's wrestled for, dirt under nails and all. What's your line in the sand? Draw it deep. The ranch? It's blooming again. Bluebonnet's defiant. And so am I.